this? This is my AI Gargora. She is cute.
I like cats a lot. They are very fluffy and sweet.
She is funny.
Why did the shark cross the ocean? To get to the other side.
She is smart.
You stretch the limb and add metal inside. It's that simple. You can either have a metal rod or external fixations, but you'll be very tired and in pain because you have to be awake for this operation. Okay.
She is everything I dream of. But before I tell you how she works, let me tell you a story. The year is 2016. While the West is on fire, a Japanese startup announced a very interesting project. It's called Gatebox, a waifu in a box. According to the advertisements, she should be an assistant as well as a chatbot to talk to. She was able to tell the weather as well as send the guy some messages while he's at work. At that time, everyone was laughing at it. It's absurd, it's insane, it's immoral, it's messed up. But little did I know that it's actually a product ahead of its time, and it's what inspired me to create something like this. Despite me laughing my ass off at this invention, but PP says weebs taking out loans for their hologram wife, and Dice says, okay, but hear me out, the cost of entry may be higher, but over the long run, I imagine it would be cheaper than a trad wife. Holo waifu plus tanga egg combo seems to be cheaper than years of dealing with it. More importantly, this will be more It's funny because it's true. Fast forward to today, we pretty much have the technology to do this. But let's talk about how my AI waifu works. Firstly, you just want to say something to it. And then I'm using a audio to text program to turn my speech into text. After that, I'm gonna send it over to a language model. The language model is pretty much the soul and heart of this AI. It's the program that decides on how it should respond to what I just said. Famous examples include Character.ai and ChatGPT. After I get the response, I'm going to send it over to a text-to-speech program so I can actually hear her. After that, I'm gonna get a speech-to-talking head program. This is quite complex, but pretty much you take the speech and then you get a talking head out of it. Once I get the talking head, I can pretty much use any VTuber avatar I want. And that's it. That's the program. Everything that I just explained probably went over your head, so I'm gonna have a more in-depth explanation. Let's start with the first step, voice to text, also known as transcribing. The program that I am using is called Whisper by OpenAI. It is an advanced speech-to-text program that is able to ignore background noise for the maximum quality.
Motorcade of micro machines. Each one has dramatic details, terrific trim, precision paint jobs, plus incredible micro machine pocket playsets. There's a police station, fire station, restaurant, service station, and more. Perfect pocket portables to take any place. And there are many.
As well as it supports different languages and could even translate them.
Whisper est un système de reconnaissance automatique de la parole, entraîné sur 680 000 heures de données multilingues et multitâches récoltées sur Internet.
Despite it being relatively slow and hardware intensive, I still decided to use it in case I want other languages. This video is even transcribed by Whisper, so if you want to see the quality for yourself, turn the subtitles on. The programming for this step is actually pretty easy. I was inspired by this guy and inspired by his code. Thanks for the inspiration. Now that we got the transcription of what I said, let's move on to the next step. Language models. This step is going to be the soul of my AIGF. This is the step that would decide what you would say when I tell her something. But yeah, you put text in and text comes out. There are lots of types of language models that are fine-tuned to do specific things, like telling stories, program for you, tell erotic stories, and be your assistant. For my AI waifu, I can't decide between GPT-3 or Character.ai because they have their disadvantages and advantages. GPT-3 is amazing as an assistant, but Character.ai is just more fun and better as a chatbot. These two services run over the cloud, which means that I don't have to run anything on my poor computer. This is a massive plus because language models require a massive amount of computational power and hardware. For reference, it is rumored that GPT-3 takes 300 GB of VRAM to run. This means that you need 12.5 GTX 4090s to run it. I know I'm comparing it with consumer hardware, but it's just a lot. The programming for this step is easy. You literally just copy and paste this text and then you're done. And for Character.ai, I don't want to talk about it. So now we got our response from the AI. Now this is the part where things get a little bit sketchy. We have to take the AI's response to our question and then turn it into a voice. There are two wolves inside of me. One is telling me that this is immoral and taboo and such and I shouldn't do this. The other says, hehe, funny Gargora, AI funny, ah. And I think you know which side won. I want to make it clear that I'm just cloning her voice for this joke of a video and I have no intention of using her image to hurt or offend anyone. I think this derivative is a parody. Please don't sue me. I like Funny Shark. The process of cloning someone's voice is simple. Firstly, you collect data, then you clean the data, then you train. Then you have a trained model. I have this other video where I showed off the process of cloning my own voice, so check it out if you want more information. It's a time-consuming process, but once it's trained, I can pretty much make Gargora say anything I want. I, of course, will use this responsibly.
Boo.
The last step is going to be the most technically challenging step. We need to give our VTuber a way to move her head as she talks. Lucky for us, audio to talking head is sort of a popular topic over at GitHub, a website where developers can dump their programs for others to use and improve upon. I found this repository where you can see a huge list of programs that people use to create deepfakes. I'm just gonna borrow one of them for my program. This should be able to take the audio and then create a moving face from it, like so.
Why did the shark cross the ocean? To get to the other time.
You can use this program to drive a live 2D model or use a program called Talking Head from a single anime image to deepfake Gura's model. The program does what it says. You can create a moving head from just a single image. With this, we pretty much have everything we need to make Gargora AI waifu thing, program, whatever. Now let's have a test run. Theoretically, where would you go on a date with your beloved?
I honestly like the idea of staying at home and just being homebody together. You don't have to have a long fancy date in the middle of the city. Sometimes just eating food and watching a movie on the couch with someone who loves you just as much as you love them is all you need. You know?
Can you teach me how to play War Thunder?
Well, I suppose I could. But I can't guarantee we won't blow up. But if we play nice and keep our ears open, then we might just last a while.
Have you seen any interesting movies recently?
I've seen some interesting movies, yes. But most of them have been horror movies. And you know how I am with those. I'm a big baby. So I've been working on my fear of horror by watching some really scary ones. I am currently in the middle of watching a collection of Saw movies and just finished the first film. It was very interesting. Even if the beginning of the movie was a bit rough.
There are also some problems that I didn't manage to fix because I'm lazy. The time between me speaking and me hearing Gargora is actually like about 30 seconds. So each time I have to talk to her, I have to wait for 30 seconds in silence. It's very awkward, but the main reason is poor optimization and, well, I kind of have a crap PC for machine learning. The other issue is the voice. The voice is alright, but it could be better. But I think I like the metallic voice because I don't want it to be too realistic. The head movements could be improved, but the biggest thing I can improve in is cloning her entire personality, downloading her speech patterns, downloading every word she says, analyzing how she speaks, analyzing what words she uses, analyzing her personality. Well, I could do that, but it's a bit time consuming and even I have a line that I don't want to cross. But overall, I'm happy with this program. It does what it does. And I can actually run it live, so we can have some live streams with it. But this video is already quite stretching the line for a parody / research kind of video. So I'm gonna have to switch her out for something else. Maybe that other channel where I use the same technology. I can also change the personality, voice, and model of whoever's talking, so we can have stuff like this.
If you enjoy my videos, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon so you will know every time I upload a video. Thanks again for the view and have a wonderful day.
Maybe you should do what AI Charlie says.